Performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here as they trail big in this fourth quarter. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. He'll wind up losing 3 there on the sack. Good pressure, and it's second down.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Jackson. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. He's on his way. Yet another. At issue here, does the football make contact with the ground before he secured it? And I think some of these angles are going to give us a pretty good look.
Secured is the important part because the ball can touch the ground, but it can't be loose when it does. So that's what they're going to have to try and figure out.
Fourth quarter, they're just trying to erase that 0 on the scoreboard, Charles, and get some type of momentum. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And fortunately for him, he's able to get it back, but it will be a loss on the play. Fortunately for him, that ball stayed close so that he could recover it on his own.
And you know the prayers that were going through his head as the ball escaped from him? How happy was he at the end of it when he found the football again, able to retain possession?
Ethan Evans on now to punt. A big-time return there, 40 yards. And this offense
on that one being bigger.
From the 41, here's 2nd and 6. Up the middle, it's Williams. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks for fake. And yet again. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. He goes 57 yards on the punt return. And the Seahawks are pouring it on.
Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there.
Needed to gain a first down. Here's Stafford. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game. No one else running a pattern that should be open.
Throwing is Stafford. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The safety blitz staged to perfection that time as they sack him for a loss of 6.
Well, it's obvious, but I can't help but say it here. It's never a good day when the opposing defense has more sacks than you have points. The win seems likely, but this defense is still playing for something here. They see that 0 on the scoreboard, and they don't this early in the year. Well, that sends notice to the rest of the NFL and spreads confidence throughout the locker room that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop. And 3rd down. Murray to air it out again. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
Escaping the pressure. And he's going to go down again. They get him that time thanks to the safety blitz as he sank for a loss of 4.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
And from the 34, here's 2nd and 4. Murray now running right on the option. And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line.
Their job is simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
This time they stay on the ground. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. Here's Logan Cook now as he's on to punt for Jacksonville. Taking on the midfield logo. A tremendous return there, 39 yards. He's on to punt for Jacksonville. Fielded just inside the 30. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. 3rd and 13. Now Lawrence. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And they're going to be set up in the red zone at the 15. Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but
offense right now, bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. And they'll go with a ground attack here. And that's not the start that he was looking for, as he's going to be met and dropped behind the line. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's 2nd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use it? In motion left goes Jennings. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep, and that is not fooling anyone. He never had a chance to turn the corner there, and they'll go backwards right away. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
Well, we saw a lot of Nick.
Purdy now to throw. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Way. And taken right on the 30. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. Best of the 2-minute warning. It was the safety blitz that ultimately did the job, and they're going to credit him with a sack. Continue to roll.
Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there. A punt return for a touchdown.
It was like down.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
43-yard line, that's where they'll take over. There are two words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs.
They'll look to set up his blockers. And bulldozing his way through. And he's going to get this down inside the 40 before he's finally ridden out of bounds. Fourth down now.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss. Yet it happened. They caught him on back-to-back plays breaking through the line. No amount of evading was going to save him from a sack on either play, and on the last one, he ran too deep into the end zone to set up the safety. When you got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they mishit the ball and kick it right to him.
Love. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. And the Seahawks are going to take possession here as they've got it at their own 4-yard line for the third time thus far. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. Oh, my goodness. Foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. That punt returned 66 yards, and it goes the distance. And the Seahawks will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. They get the stop defensively, force the punt. They score without their offense even stepping on the field.
I remember playing on special teams and tease that.
A lack of discipline defensively on fourth down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Now he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, not only is his defense pitching a shutout, now they're contributing points themselves. I mean, they have really put together what's almost been a perfect effort here in this one.
I love how you express that. They've absolutely exceeded expectations in this one and even play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. They get him that time thanks to the safety blitz as he sank for a loss of 4.
Partner, my vocabulary isn't that great, but to me, there's only one word that fits this front 7 today, and that's dominant. 4 and 5 sacks is already rare in one game. Getting to more than...
Oh, he's intercepted again. It's Richardson's 3rd of the game. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, this one was already ugly, and now it's just kind of becoming a feast on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, partner, this is a unit that knows they've got this game in the bag with this huge lead, and it's going to drive their coaches crazy because they're telling them play.
Up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Richardson working from the gun. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Touchdown, Seattle. Covered a lot of ground there. 81 yards on the punt return. And the Seahawks are able to widen their lead here in this first half.
When you got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy.
Looking to throw. Stroud. And looking for Kirk, but this pass is intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. But just add that to the list of great moments for this defense today. They've really shredded that game plan on the other side all 4 quarters. And, Charles, that pick 6, that's kind of the cherry on.
Super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we...
Well, they get to Stroud, nowhere to go, and he goes down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack. Just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
And he'll take it just outside the 40. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Call that a 59-yard punt return. And the Seahawks are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, partner, time to start thinking about dinner plans after this one. I don't want to write him off first quarter, but my goodness, he offs through. And there he goes again. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. What a run. 79 yards on the punt return. And the Seahawks open the lead up to 34-0.
That's the second touchdown return of the game. And yes, we're only in the first quarter.
How about that for a start? So he's on pace for 8.
In space and break a tackle along the way.
On second down, Irving. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space.
23. And now off to the races down the right side. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. A 77-yard punt return. And the Seahawks are able to add on to their first half lead. And we always talk about kick returns being so exciting on kickoffs, punt return.
The way their opponent was playing, and partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. They get to him for a loss of 4, and it brings up 3rd down on the sack.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be.
And he's loose again. And they are going to finish this one off strong. It's a return touchdown to add on to their lead in the final stages. Well, Charles, just impressive in all 3 phases. Offense, defense, special teams have really done their job. And here the offense doing its part yet again with another score in the 4th quarter.
I know.
Now he's loose again. Inside the 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, Charles, to quote a Hall of Famer from the sport of baseball, Yogi Berra, it's deja vu all over again. They had the pick 6 earlier. Now another pick 6 here, and those plays certainly have contributed to this blowout that we're witnessing.
Absolutely.
And that is going to officially draw the curtain on this one as the last throw intercepted. And the Seahawks come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. For the winning team. Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. Going to be taken in here by Nakua. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
And we constantly talk about people being on the same page. In this situation, the 2 of them saw the play with the same eyes. They understood where the open spaces were going to be, and they found a way to get there to pick up a new 7 now.
To the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Off the play fake. More. Rush coming, and he's taken down. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7.
Well, we knew coming in it was going to be a long afternoon if they weren't able to hold up against this pass rush, huh?
What we didn't know was that protection was going to spring a leak on the first play from scrimmage.
Got after him right.
It's football. The ball comes out, and the Seahawks have picked. And now off to the races down the right side. Inside the 10, and they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. Charles, they are putting on a show right now. I mean, with that fumble return for the touchdown, you think about the size of this advantage. Heck, it's a 4-score game right now, and we're still in the first half.
And that has to be the highlight, Brandon, with how it...
Looking to throw. Ward. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28 yards.
He's added to his total.
He wants some separation from spot 1 and 2 in that sack category. Here's Ward. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Oh, hit and a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. And now here is another interception. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Yet another mistake after the interception. A big 4th quarter deficit here. Things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season. But in this one, their defense has really struggled. That one will set them back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
What's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence.
And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. A great effort there. 44 yards. And the Seahawks are pouring it on as that lead just swells and swells. Behind team all year, they'll need to do it again as they trail early in this wild card game. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and take it to get this drive underway. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building anymore.
Out onto the field. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. They've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Throwing to start the drive. Purdy. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9.
Let's go ahead and put check marks by it all, partner. No points. Down by 4 touchdowns. Haven't had anything going today on offense. Why not add a late sack to the mix? Obviously a day to forget for all involved. Let's give plenty of credit to this defensive effort. They've
in the first quarter maybe helped to set the tone a little bit.
Could settle them down, get them into the game a little bit easier without that crowd really being against them.
And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And the return across midfield and to the 46-yard line. Obviously, you got to hold on to the football, but I've got to give credit to the defense there. Good job of knocking it free.
Yeah, because a lot of the time we just blame.
Complete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll bring the tight end in motion right. They'll run on second down with blue. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. The first carry now. This is Williams. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well,
and 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right. This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Taken in at the 22. Left side. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Mark that down as a punt return of 78 yards. And the Seahawks will extend their lead here just before halftime.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punt.
Times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. This is taken at the 23. Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. And there he goes again. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And this offense set up with a very short field. 1st and 10 inside the 20. And Outnet Sports continues right after this message. In motion goes the tight end. They run the option here on 1st and 10. And he is going to lose yardage here. Shifts by him. Jukes by again. There he goes, right side. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. An impressive 75-yard punt return. And the Seahawks continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl. A lot of times they want this guy just to try to flip field position. He flipped it all the way into the end zone.
Yeah, the rule.
Now it's Jackson. And his pass incomplete. He was looking for Rashad Bateman there. And it's 3rd down.
Zone.
They're looking for Andrews, but this is intercepted. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. What a moment for him, a pick 6 in the Super Bowl. You think about some of the big pick 6s. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. It'll be a loss of 5 there as the safety blitz winds up paying off.
Safety blitz, such a fun play call to witness when it works. And the deep man can get home for a sack. Great timing by him. Interception earlier in this contest. Now a sack. He's definitely campaigning for Player of the Week honors, isn't he, partner?